Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mind that little badoong. That means nothing. But we are here, live and alive, for episode 96 of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it greatly each and every week. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed. Got that notification on for YouTube so you get notified of all of our media and videos we're throwing out at you guys on the regular.
Gotta get that notification.
Gotta get notified.
It's here, 96, man.
Yeah, man, we're creeping right along.
Climbing up the mountain.
We're a month away, dude, from
Yep.
the big C-note,
I know it.
the big hundo.
We're reaching out to guests. We're gonna make something happen. Something's brewing.
Something's
There's
brewing.
a storm a-brewing.
Yeah.
But it is episode 96, and in honor of 96, we're gonna honor number 96, Cortez Kennedy.
Yes.
If you are a Seattle Seahawks fan, you might recognize him. Go ahead and take it over.
Yeah,
Chris.
let me take it over. He was a defensive tackle, played his entire 11-season career with the Seattle Seahawks. He was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2012. He redefined and expanded the possibilities of how a large-bodied interior lineman could be used. In 1992, he won the Defensive Player of the Year, and he played his collegiate football for the Hurricanes. He was born in Osceola, Arkansas, over there in Arkansas. Grew up in a nearby town of Wilson, graduated from Rivercrest High School in Wilson, where he attended Northwest Mississippi Community College, good old NMCC, before being awarded a scholarship to Miami, where he was named an All-American in 1989 and later inducted into their Sports Hall of Fame in Miami in 2004.
That's quite an accomplishment there, considering all of the amazing athletes coming out of the University of Miami.
No, they were paid well.
Yep. All right. Well, he was the third overall selection in the first round of the 1990 NFL Draft by the Seahawks. He was unsigned until 2 days before the beginning of the season. Kennedy was named to the Pro Bowl in 1991, 1992, and having recorded 14 quarterback sacks, he received the Defensive Player of the Year by the AP Press, despite the Seahawks' 2-14 record. That is something we will never see again. That's unheard of.
I mean, you'd have to be really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, even like today with 14 sacks, that would just be if you had a 2-14 record and 14 sacks, like, I mean, you would have to have like maybe 5 forced fumbles and interceptions.
Yeah, there would have to be something crazy else that went along with it.
Because I think TJ Watt had like 17 sacks last year, 18, something like that.
And he missed games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he switched jersey number to 99 that season in honor of close friend Jerome Brown, and was named first or second team All-Pro 5 times. So,
yeah,
quite a good defensive tackle.
Yeah, he retired after the 2000 season, and with 167 games played with Seattle, recorded 668 tackles, 58 sacks, and 3 interceptions. He announced his retirement in August 2002 after sitting out the 2001 season. But yeah, unfortunately, he did pass away in 2017. He was very young, but he was a great player when he was alive. So, he went on and did some, looks like he did a little bit of
front office work. Looks like he's
an advisor,
Yeah, advisor to the Saints, GM for, he was general manager. Mickey Loomis, we've all heard that name before, had previously worked for the Seahawks. And Kennedy later moved to Arkansas and Orlando, Florida, where he raised his daughter, Courtney, and focused on her education.
Gotta get that education.
Yep. Well, we learned a little something new.
We did. And hats off to you, Cortez Kennedy.
That's right. Thanks for being number 96.
Yes, and we honor you as episode 96 is 96.
That's right.
So, cheers to you, sir.
Well, Chris, let's get into this episode. I want to know how your weekend was last weekend.
It was pretty good. Got some things done around the house when I could, when it wasn't raining and such. Then we did get into some new, started watching Umbrella Academy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We've also been watching this show, something of a psychopath. I'm surprised Hannah isn't watching it. Like Mind of a Psychopath or something like that, where they break down like these killers that are killing people.
Oh,
you know?
damn.
Yeah, and then
Kind of like Mindhunter?
kind of
Okay. Bring it back, Netflix.
Mindhunter.
Such a good show.
Oh, Signs of a Psychopath, I think is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, it basically is, women are all into watching true crime, horror, and stuff like that because apparently their lives aren't scary enough.
I guess so. I know, and I always have a running joke with her since she likes to watch all that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, I'll just keep you on your toes, and I'll like be rubbing her shoulders. I'm like, God, your skin's so soft. It would make a great lampshade. She's like, what? I'm like, what? I thought that's what you like.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
No, I was like, you were watching that guy that killed all those women last night. I figured,
That's what you're into.
that was a fantasy. I'm not sure.
Just trying to
I'm not.
fit your profile.
Yeah. Teach their own,
So are you all caught up with the Umbrella Academy?
We just watched the first episode.
Like the very first episode?
Of this new season,
Okay,
yeah. But
yeah.
we're all caught up in terms of the
Yeah.
seasons to date.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I watched the first season.
You didn't like it? No, wasn't your cup of tea.
I watched a lot of weird shit, and it was surprising that was too weird for me.
That was too weird.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was kind of different.
Yeah.
But hey, to each their own, man.
Exactly. We were just talking about that, and to each their own.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what else we did. Oh, I went over to the rentals and watched the Broncos
The
dominating preseason.
You guys are so hyped. I'm glad it went well for you. Because
I'm not even really that hyped. I kept joking the whole time. I was like, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
AFC Championship, here we come.
It's amazing how it works out like that. I mean, like the way you guys' season ended, and then we won the Super Bowl, and then we go out. I was so hyped for Saturday. After you come off Super Bowl, you're like, finally.
When you're good,
Chiefs
though,
are
the
back.
preseason games are bullshit.
It sucks, man. Yeah.
None of the good guys are playing.
Yeah, well,
Well,
Reed
some
does
of them
do 'em.
did.
Yeah, and then he got hurt, so yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But
He's okay.
Yeah.
They popped it back in. His
still going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
sternoclavicular.
Though. It looks like he's going to miss the Bengals game too.
So it is going to be like 2 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks is what they're saying.
Yeah, so I probably put you right about week 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bummer.
Bummer.
Did you eat any good food over at the Rinse?
We just ordered pizza.
Oh, sweet.
My mom made some caprese salad, which I love.
I know you like that. Yeah, you
Caprese
talked
is
about
where
that.
it's at, man. You can't go wrong with tomatoes, mozzarella, onions, and balsamic vinegar.
Yeah,
It's tough to beat.
that's
A little
like
bit
staple
olive
of
oil.
Italian food,
Yeah.
man.
So that's good.
Well, hell yeah.
Last night though, I do have to I have to pull double duty tonight, and I got to go to practice after this.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I didn't
dude.
know that. Wow.
Fucking Buick blew up again yesterday. Well, Sunday.
No way, man.
Turbo
Are
blew
you
up again.
The same thing?
Yeah. So now we know it's their fucking bullshit. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's all
Ah,
good.
damn it. We know it's their remanufactured turbos that's doing it now, so they're going to have to pay to fix this time.
Wow. So who, like Buick or Christian Brothers?
O'Reilly's, because that's where the part came from.
Okay.
So they're going to have to pay probably for a new part. And we're going to try and bitch and get them just to give us a new one because I'm like, I'm not going to put another remanufactured turbo
Really?
in
I mean,
again
like,
and
why?
drive it for less than 10,000 miles and have it blow up again.
Dude,
So
this is like, what, the third time? Fourth time it's happened?
this is we did it once and then it blew up. This is the third time. This will be the third one.
Jeez,
going in.
man.
Yeah.
Don't
So
buy a Buick, people.
yeah, as of right now, Buick they're not on my nice list. They're on the naughty list.
Damn.
Yeah, so that sucks.
man.
But I'm not as stressed about it because it sounds like they're going to have to pay for most of it. So
Well, they should. Oh, that's bogus,
So
man. Well,
right
sorry
up-
you're down to one car again.
it's all right. Thankfully, it's not the worst. Her mom's going to give her a ride to her job tomorrow and then just driving the van,
Yeah.
eating gas up like it's going out of style.
Dude, I burn through gas so much. It sucks. I sit there on my lunch and I just turn my AC on. I'm like, this is so dumb, but I don't care. It's hot.
Yeah.
I'm just
Sucks.
paying for it. It's
I'm like,
probably
I'm not gonna
cost me like,
I'm not going to go sit in the break room, dude.
yeah, no way, dude. She
Yeah.
always asks me that. She's like, why don't you go in the bakery? I'm like, I don't want to be around people.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to
that.
go away from everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No way.
Ew.
I'm gonna mock draft on my own.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks,
cool.
but here we are, and it is what it is.
It is, man. Nice.
What about you? How was your weekend?
Our weekend was really relaxing. It was cool. We watched a lot of movies. We did a lot of chilling because the previous few weekends we've been doing a lot of stuff, and then
Yeah,
we got
been busy.
some busy weekends coming up. So let's see. Friday night we watched that movie If with Ryan Reynolds. She
Yeah?
bawled her eyes out. It was so
That's
funny.
sad.
Right at the end, she's just like, "Who's cutting onions over here?" And I just laugh. I just love it, man. I'm like, these kids movies get you every time. Oh,
They
it's
do,
so
you know?
good. It was a good movie though. It was a heartwarming movie. And then after that, we watched. This is kind of funny. A couple days before that, I sent her a screenshot of the Twisters movie.
Yeah.
I think it's what they call articles in English, like an article of definition, and, the.
Yeah.
That really throws off movie titles, dude, and it throws me off, man, because we've been wanting to watch that new Twisters movie, and so I saw one on Amazon Prime that was like $5.99 to rent. And I'm like, I sent her a screenshot of it, and I was working out, so it was just in a quick thing, and I'm like, oh, it's available to rent. Let's watch this. We go to watch it, all set up after we watched If, and no, it was like some bogus, like not even a B-rated
I thought it was
movie.
Be just like about actual tornadoes.
No,
like,
dude,
we're
that would
learning.
have been even cool, like with an educational one. No, it was just some parody that was probably
It wasn't
budgeted
even
like
Sharknado or
100.
anything like that.
Oh, it's probably like even less budget of that. I mean, it was ridiculous. But the new one coming out is called Twisters. This movie we thought it was The Twisters. Semantics, man.
Yeah,
So
that'll
dumb.
get you, man.
It is.
These
So
ands.
we shifted and paid $20 to watch Quiet Place Part 1 or Day 1.
Oh yeah,
Day 1.
day one.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fantastic, dude.
Was
it was
it?
awesome. Yeah,
Nice.
my hall pass is in that one. Lupita Nyong'o,
Oh, the chick from
Black Panther,
yeah,
and
yeah.
all those movies. She's
Nice.
badass. She does a really good job in it because she's recovering. She's like basically dying from cancer, and then all this shit happens. And yeah, then the guy that played in the latest Stranger Things, Eddie, that had that epic guitar
yeah,
solo, he had a huge part in it. But it was an awesome movie, man. And yeah, I finally got like the sound bar, my sound bar and the TV all hooked up. So that was a perfect movie, kind of like with the
Yeah.
sound, obviously.
Which is funny because it's like about no sound.
Exactly. And what's ironic is after that, we needed something else to watch because we were just staying up late. We watched this new nature documentary on Netflix called
Something that sounds in
Sound.
nature.
Yeah,
or something?
with David Attenborough, man.
Yeah.
She's never seen what he looks like.
He's a goofy looking dude.
Dude, he's old.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's a knight. I should say
Sir.
Sir David Attenborough,
Yeah.
man. And he's a treasure to Earth, man. What he's done for just trying to preserve
Conservation.
everything. Exactly. I mean,
all
he
of
is
it.
a national treasure. And I say national as far as global
treasure.
for real. But it was ironic because we watched this movie about sound and you got to be quiet, and then we watched this nature documentary on that, and that was really good. And then on Sunday we went to go see Trap with Josh Hartnett.
Oh, the one, the
New
M. Night
Shyamalan
Shyamalan
movie.
Ding Dong movie.
Yep, Shyamalan Ding Dong. That's right.
How was that?
It was okay. It was pretty good, but dude, I just have a hard time where like it's nuts. Like I
There's
said,
a crazy twist.
no, there really wasn't in this
Oh.
one. Yeah, he was just a producer, so I don't feel like you didn't have as much as an M. Night kind of feel. But that's just it. Like what you were talking about with the Umbrella Academy. Like if it's something sci-fi, I can have a big suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
But then if it's something like this, where it's like real life, there's no aliens or dragons or anything. It needs to be realistic, no holes in the story. And there's a ton of holes in this story where I was just like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, because it's like a serial killer or something.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
whole concert's set up to catch this guy, and there's just a lot of like holes.
I
in
thought
it.
he just took the concert over.
Oh no,
It was
no.
set up to catch him.
Yeah, it was set up to catch him. Yeah.
I don't need to watch it now.
Yeah, it was okay. But I mean, we always have a good time going to the movies. But next Sunday, I'm really pumped, and I'm definitely it's gonna exceed my expectations. Alien Romulus is out.
Oh,
Big Alien fan.
that one does look good. I don't know if I saw. I think I'm like behind a movie in Alien.
Which one's the latest one you saw?
I want to say it was the one with the creepy dude who was the white people. The white people.
Nice. Why's he gotta be white?
It's gotta be white. They were white though.
You're
What are
talking
they
about
called?
Prometheus?
Yeah, I think that was the
Yeah.
last one I've seen. That might be like 2 behind.
Yeah, that one came out back when we were in college. That was like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah.
So the Covenant has come out since then, and
I think I started watching that one. I never
Covenant's good because
finished it.
Danny McBride has an awesome. He's like that's one of
I
the
think
only
didn't
times
he
you
write
see.
that movie.
I think he might have had something to do with it, but
That's the thing that gets you about him. He's written like a lot of stuff that's not just like comedy.
because the new Halloween movies that she's a big fan of, he had a big part in writing those. I think the screenplay or something like that. Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it.
Nice.
Yep.
Now we're here.
Back to sports world.
Back to the sports world. I watched the final fight of the fight night this week.
Oh, Spivaks?
Yeah,
I didn't
last that long.
I wasn't that interested in it. Yeah.
It wasn't really. I just had it on because she was doing stuff, and I was like, well, just watch this, I guess.
Hell yeah. I have been watching more baseball, though. I think it was Monday night. I think it was. No, I think it was last week because Sale was pitching for the Braves. I watched them play the Brewers. And, dude, they are stealing bases like they're bank robbers. I mean, it was nuts. Like, they just racked up like 10 runs. And then the second game, the one that I didn't watch, that one after that, they put up 16 runs.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have good base hitters or home run hitters. They're just stealing bases.
Yeah, I mean, you got to manufacture runs.
I think it's really
it's like bunting back in the day, which hardly ever happens anymore. And you got to move runners. And get people in scoring position.
I like that's one thing I really appreciate about baseball is there's many different facets to try to and strategies to win.
Yeah, it is nice that they're stealing a bunch now because before it's just like, all right, so now the guy's on base, and that's just like a bunch of waiting.
Yeah,
and it's more excitement.
I mean, dude, we talked about it last week. I think it was Tuesday that it happened. Ellie De La Cruz stole that base where like. The pitcher was just like waiting around, and he just was like, "All right, I'll go." And he got to the base before he even threw the ball, man. Dude's fast.
He is really fast. So, well, let's. We do have a guest this week. It is CD, also known as the Carolina Dad from the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. I do want to ask him about the name, and wonder if it has anything to do with the old infamous video we all know so much
famous
about,
video,
which it actually turns out I guess was fake. But in the meantime, he is a Carolina Panthers podcast host, so we are going to be learning a little bit about the Panthers and going into a little bit about what's going on with their offense. But in the meantime, let's get into a little bit of the NFL headlines. Why don't we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Personal foul, 69. Offense. He was giving them the business.
Yes, and as we do every week, we are giving you the business of the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And this week, we do have some things going on. Hassan Reddick has asked for yet another trade.
Yeah, he's upset. I don't know how much you know about this, but apparently his agent agreed on the trade from the Eagles without already having an agreement set up by the Jets for a long-term extension, because obviously that's what he was wanting.
Yeah, what I understood was that they were under the assumption that a deal would be made after the trade happened.
Yep. But, it's pretty common anytime
you
this
got to
kind
get
of
that
happens.
in writing.
Yeah, you got to already have like a set kind of structure that it's going to happen. Apparently nothing had been discussed, and the agent was like, all right, sure, send him to New York. And he's not one to play. Just when we were about to record, we were watching SportsCenter, and they just thought it would be a good idea to ask Aaron Rodgers about it. Like, he's going to make a difference. And he said that he really wants him to be a Jet and thinks it would be a good time to come back to camp. But, yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's only been in the building one time, and that was for his opening press conference.
Yeah.
Other than that, he has not been there. So this is the second time he's requested a trade now in the last 6 months. And the Jets have already said we're not going to talk to anybody unless they're coming to camp. So we're not even going to negotiate with you unless you're here. And the Jets traded a third-round pick for him to the Eagles. And like I just mentioned to Chad, they were expecting for him to get paid after the fact. And now the Jets are kind of like, well, you better show up because we aren't even going to talk to you, and you're playing on that contract until you show up.
Yeah, he's getting fined a lot of money.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it earlier. I think it's like, what, $1.7 million right now he's at in just fines for not showing up to work. He believes he should be paid like Danielle Hunter, who signed a 2-year... Daniel. It is spelled like Danielle, to be fair.
I think it's Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter, who signed a 2-year, $49 million contract with Houston. They do have the same sack total over the last 2 years with 27. But right now, Hassan Reddick is scheduled to make $14.25 million and is in the final year of the 3-year, $45 million contract he signed with the Eagles in 2022.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going to happen. Basically, right now, they are in a stalemate. And the Jets really don't care because aside from just not having him there, it's not affecting them at all.
Well, I was kind of surprised because, they need him to be there because everybody's talking about, oh, well, they have Will McDonald, that first-round pick last year, but he didn't really have that good of a year last year. Everybody expected him to splash on the scene, especially after Hard Knocks and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you might want to get a veteran in there, pay him or figure something out.
They're going to figure it out. He'll
I
show
would
up
imagine
eventually.
so.
You're not going to keep losing a bunch of money. But, it's things you should get all ironed out before you show up, you know?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
what are you going to do? What else you got?
I do have big news came out today. J.J. McCarthy, first-round pick. I think he was like number 7 drafted overall or something, right?
Was he 7 or 9? It was up there.
Yeah, something like that. The Vikings, new quarterback, has a torn meniscus, and he's going to need surgery.
Yeah, and they're basically saying right now, until they get in there, they don't know what it's going to look like until they actually get in there and they're looking around. They're saying it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to the end of the year.
Yeah,
into next year,
depending on how severe it is.
So that
Crazy.
is a huge bummer. He did show out. I mean, there was a lot of questions about him in training camp. These videos of these guys throwing passes get shared around, and I think a lot of it's taken out of context, but he was one of those guys that people are like, man, he is looking pretty rough. And then he went out there on Saturday. I believe it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday, and he looked pretty good.
He did have he started off a little rough
He threw an
from what I
interception,
heard,
but he bounced back.
Yeah, he bounced back pretty good. But yeah, I mean, it's rough, and I mean, now we're going to be getting into it a little bit later, but fantasy owners, you might have been targeting Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison or any of these guys, might want to pump the brakes on that now. Because there was a video. I'm really glad we follow all of these. Our Twitter feed's just great for French Fanatics, and we saw today from one of our feeds that Sam Darnold, first day in there taking first-team reps, threw a pick 6. So it's not looking too good.
I mean, they've at least got a guy who's got some experience back there. I mean, not a lot, but
not good experience.
Yeah. But, I mean, they did end up winning that game, preseason week 1, 24-23. How did you feel about the old preseason week? How do you feel about the kickoff?
I'm really glad you brought this up. I wish I would have written down the numbers, but I think it's 80. I heard it from Heed the Call, which I'll bring up later. 81% of the kickoffs were returned. That's opposed to, and that's preseason.
Like
so
13 or whatever.
It was 21% of kickoffs were returned last year.
Higher than you'd think.
That's almost 400% more.
Yeah.
So it's just nuts. And that there is talk though that that could just be the both special teams coaches being like, all right, let's just try to figure this out. We're still learning. We might see that number go up, down. We'll kind of see. But there are some still things to figure out because, like, as my mom brought up to us,
the
NFL is in a
players
meeting.
Didn't understand it.
Where if I think it landed, because I stopped watching the Chiefs preseason game after half. I was like, okay, I was mad that Hollywood Brown got hurt too. I was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah,
but
it's preseason.
It's just preseason,
It's
so
tough.
I could catch it later. But McCole Hardman had touched the ball while he was in the end zone, and the ball, I think it rolled into the end zone.
Well, I thought it hit in the end zone and bounced out, and then he was in the end zone and grabbed it on the one and kneeled down with it while he was still in the end zone, which normally last year, if you were the receiver and you recovered the ball with, down in the end zone, it's a touchback.
Yep.
But the rules are different now.
Yeah, and the NFL's still trying to figure that out because apparently they are meeting the rules committee is meeting over that particular play because I guess that's still something I guess they didn't expect. And so it's technically not, they might change that. They might tweak that going forward.
Well, and I mean, it's going to happen. I'm sure by the end of preseason, there will be some overarching changes to the rule or to the kickoff itself, because there are things that we're going to need to see ironed out a little bit. It still looks really weird.
Yeah.
It's just like thunk, and then everybody's waiting, and then it's just like Like,
no. I was so pumped about it, and then guess whose return was bigger than anybody else's over the weekend? The damn Jaguars on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They had 2 of them, man. Well, the biggest one was like 74 yards. But I think there's a lot bigger potential to break off a big run.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much like a layer of different tacklers coming in.
Well, just once
It's
you get
basically
past one,
once that initial line, if you get through
it's
it.
like a running back. Once you get past the second level, it's
Yep.
your open field.
I'm pretty pumped for it, honestly.
You mentioned it too. Like a lot of these special teams coaches are just kind of going through the motions and like, let's see how this plays out. Let's get through the preseason. I think there's going to be a lot of like crazy gadgety type plays,
be.
even just the kicks. I mean, you could squib it and have that ball bouncing around and get your guy. Like, I don't know. There's probably a lot of different. Well, because I was going to try to think. Like, I figured you could squib it, but you can't move till the guy gets it.
Yeah, and I think if
But
it
if it
doesn't,
hits him once,
if it doesn't
can
hit
you
in a
move?
certain zone, then you do get it. I think like the 35.
Yeah.
So you don't want to fuck that up either.
Yeah.
So it's almost that's why like there was talks that like the Chiefs using Justin Reed to kick and everything like that, but like. There's a lot more. When I was listening to some Chiefs podcasts, it seems like they're definitely going to go with Butker because it's almost like a chip shot, like for golf, where like you got to get it into this zone.
Yeah.
You don't want to kick it into the end zone. You don't want to kick it before that. So you really want to make sure it's kicked in this zone.
Yeah.
So
because I think once the guy touches it, it's live.
yeah.
So, I mean, you could, in theory, squib it at him and get him to bobble it, and then your guys can get down on him right away, or, I don't know. We'll see. I do feel like we're probably going to see some wild stuff come the regular season.
I know.
Like, well,
Dude, I'm
expect
pumped
that
for it,
coming.
man, because I do, like we talked about when we first heard about this. I mean, how many times, when your team got scored on or vice versa or anything like that, you see how I had to word that, it wasn't really, or you guys did score. It happens sometimes. But during the commercial break, you knew you had like another 2 minutes because of the kickoff. You don't need to go and see that. But now that's something you don't want to miss. Like I said, 81% returned over the weekend.
Yeah, that's like before they changed it. I'm like, why even just kick it through the end zone? Why would you not just do that every single time?
I always thought, I was like, why don't we get a point? Sometimes they would kick it.
Yeah, if you make it
through
through
a
the
field goal.
upright, you
just
should.
give us 1 point.
Or half,
Yeah,
give us half.
0.5.
He made it, 0.5.
Oh, man, that'd be weird.
Well, real quick, before we get CD on the line, let's go down our top 3 fantasy sleepers.
Let's do it, man.
We're going to get into it. It's coming soon. So we're going to talk a little bit about it now. But, Chad, why don't you start us off?
I'll start you off. I'll probably totally whiff on this because I remember the ones that I picked last year, and it was so wrong. So
That's why we do this.
This year, though, I got a good feeling about it.
All right.
Number 1. For one, let's start this off. When it comes to sleepers, let's define this for like casual listeners out there. That basically means anybody maybe drafted past round 9. Anybody that's like a guaranteed starter, a wide receiver 2, running back 2, you're going to expect them to do pretty good. My first pick is a running back 1 for the Bengals, but this is his first year taking the starting role.
Yeah.
So I think, I used him a lot last year. He was backing up Joe Mixon. His name is Chase Brown. There's been a lot of hype from him out of Bengals camp. I think there's a good chance he's going to have a really good season. Number 2, Keon Coleman. Another no surprise here, but he's falling into like the round 11, round 12. He's pretty much slated to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. And news came out today that Chase Claypool is going to have season-ending injury. Or season-ending surgery, I think it was. I don't remember what for. But then number 3, Jerome Ford. This dude was a train wreck last year for the Browns. It's kind of a weird way to put that. Maybe more of like a train. I don't know. A bulldozer. Broken a lot of tackles. Let me just say that. And, Nick Chubb is probably going to be coming back maybe week 5, maybe week 6 from a gruesome knee injury. But he filled in really well for Chubb last year. I can't remember their other backup there, but I think Jerome Ford's going to do a really good job behind an excellent offensive line. When drafting running backs, that is the key thing you need to look at, is how good their offensive line is.
Gotta
That's
have
why
them
I'm
road graders up
not
front.
taking Miles Sanders, no offense, CD, or anybody with a shoddy kind of offensive line.
Yeah, try and stay away from him if you can. You want a good, strong offensive line for them running backs.
Yep.
Pushing the pile, so to speak.
Eagles offensive line. That's a good one.
Yes, definitely.
What you got?
Well, let me give you mine. So my first one, and these are like in no particular order, obviously. I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey. He's going to be a gadget guy for the Los Angeles Chargers. I do think with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen leaving, they're going to be looking for some playmakers, and I do think that this guy is going to be a playmaker coming out of the slot. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against everybody but the Broncos, because, these damn division guys.
Do you have an update on his injury? I saw that he's questionable right now.
Let me take a look at it.
All right, go ahead and go to your number 2. I'll type it in unless you don't.
It's training camp. All right, yeah. If you want to look into that, it does look like it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything too serious.
But yeah, because they are saying they're hoping he's going to be his number 1, but we'll see how that ends
number
up.
1, really?
Yeah, that's what someone just said there. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but let's move on to my second one, which, in terms of tight ends, this guy was the last few years very high drafted. A lot of people were taking him, the 3rd, 4th, 5th round when tight ends start going off the board. That's Kyle Pitts. I do think this year he'll probably fall down a little bit further just because of his production the last 2 years. But he hasn't had a quarterback, and now he's got Kirko Chains, whatever you want to call him. Kirk Cousins is there. As long as Kirk's healthy, I do think Kyle Pitts is going to be used. I saw that they were lining him up in wide receiver, tight end. They're going to be moving him all over, which I do think is going to be very beneficial for Kyle Pitts because he's kind of like one of those weird tweeners where it's like he's got the tight end body, but he kind of moves like a wide receiver. So we'll see. I'm hoping to see some, production this year because it has been a little bit of a bummer.
I mean, they drafted him in top 10, so he needs to start producing.
I think he was one of the highest drafted tight ends.
I think so, yeah, like 6 or something
Yeah,
like that.
and then my other one is the mayonnaise man, Mr. Will Levis, which we're going to bring it up in a little bit, but when we come back because we need to call CD right now, but Will Levis, I just think with the addition of all of the wide receivers, he's got Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd, Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, which he was showed up after Treylon Burks got injured last year. So I am looking forward to those 3 guys doing a little bit of damage. Will Levis also got Tony Pollard, who's great out of the backfield catching the ball, so I do think he's going to have a release valve there as well. But it is time to call Mr. CD, the Carolina Dad.
Let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. You prepare
Time to learn about some Panthers.
For some ringing. He did say it might go to...
Yeah, he said it might go to voicemail.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
All right. We'll let him know we called. This is the beauty of being live.
Well, let's see.
Well, while we wait for him...
he says, hey, y'all, putting the kid to bed. Might be a little late. I can ping you as soon as he's down.
Okay. All right. Well,
okay,
we'll keep
cool.
rolling
We'll just
along.
keep going along.
just let him know,
yeah,
message us or call us or whatever. Don't matter to me, man. Well, we did just talk about Will Levis, and I was going to bring this up later, but we are here now, so we might as well go into it. As we all know, Will Levis made the rounds on the internet world as he was being drafted when it came to light that he really loves mayonnaise, and he'll put it in his coffee, which is super weird. But that's what Will Levis does, and he enjoys it. And he happened to parlay that into a little bit of, what do you want to call it, sponsorship, if you will, with Hellman's Mayonnaise.
And then the best mayonnaise, too. I ain't about that Miracle Whip.
No, dude, I don't fuck with Miracle Whip. I'm like, why is it sweet?
That's for poor people, man. Come on now. Hellman's is where it's at.
I don't know if your social status has anything to do with it. I mean, I just don't like it.
It doesn't, because she likes. We get two different kinds of mayonnaise. She gets Miracle Whip. I get.
That's how my mom and dad were. My dad loves Miracle Whip, and I'm just like, I don't like it.
No,
it's weird.
Dude, no. The thing of it is, it's really good with turkey. Miracle Whip just matches so good with turkey sandwiches, but I still prefer Hellman's.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. I'm literally going to use it tonight. We're having sandwiches again tonight.
No, nice. Yeah. But anyways, there was a commercial that came out right after he was drafted, but there's a new one out that's pretty funny. They're coming out with a perfume, if you will. We're going to play it for you right now. It's only 40 seconds, so bear with us.
Enjoy it.
I might be commentating over it as it goes.
They try to define you, but you are the ingredient to your own success. Luscious, eggy, smell like greatness. Bill Levis, number 8, Parfum de Mayonnaise.
That's hilarious, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super funny. If you were watching along, you will see that video. If not, I tried to give you a little bit of a play-by-play, but go find it. It's super funny. It is a good play on all those goofy perfume commercials like
Johnny Depp's and stuff. Yeah,
Sauvage.
Yeah, Sauvage.
I'm in a desert.
But instead it's mayonnaise.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny, and I enjoy that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to talk about at the old NFL.
I think that's about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, most of the rookie QBs look pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is, man. Let's go.
Call from
Eric.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice...
What is up, CD? You are live with us right now on the Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, man. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for bearing with me. Just got the kiddo put down, so ready to chop up some football.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're looking forward to talking to you. I was listening to your podcast as we were getting ready for this, and I dig what you do, man. I like everything you got going on. We're also, part-time podcasters. We would love it to turn full-time, but give us a little bit of a rundown of how you got into it.
Yeah, man. So I guess it's been a year and a half. I had this intuition, or I don't even know if you call it that. I had this desire, probably better said. I just wanted to started on. I was like, well, feel comfortable talking about the Panthers, and so sure enough, I was like, yeah, I guess it's going to be the topic that we talk about. So we just had our son, and I mean, he was like weeks old, and I was like right in the room next to him at like 11 or 12 at night whenever I could get a break, and I would jump in there and record an episode, and it kind of just went from there.
So that's where the Carolina dad thing comes from, huh?
Yeah, so that one, it's funny. I talked about that in another episode. So the Carolina dad, name, it was another comedy thing that I did. It was unrelated, but kind of related. And so that's how that happened. And then it stuck with me, but it's funny. I guess you can actually call me Eric now, because I was on WFNZ, which is like the big Charlotte sports radio station this past week, and we were talking Carolina Panthers, and they had me on the show, which I was very appreciative for them to bring me on. And as I'm getting dialed in, they already knew my first name, and the producer was like, what's your last name? I gave it out, and sure enough, I jump on the air, and they're like, all right, we're welcoming in Eric.
Yeah. And you're like, oh,
well,
damn.
I appreciate it. Cool. So from then on, I kind of joked. I was like, well, folks, if y'all want to know, it's out there. You can, be a detective, go find it. So at this point, I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
If people call me one thing or the other. Yeah, so y'all got kind of the breaking news on that.
Oh, dang.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say,
privilege.
because, I mean, we're live, and we use Google Voice to call people, obviously, while while we're doing this, and
Yeah.
usually when people call us, it makes us, press 1. But yeah, you said your name, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to edit that out, but now we don't have to. So
There you go, man. Right?
cool, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. What was the comedy thing? I kind of want to know about that now.
Oh my gosh, it was pure on dad joke / just things that dads would do. It was terrible. It was so bad, but I took the name there, and then I was like, well, I don't want people to really know my name, which that was a whole other thing. Is like, I don't know why. I just decided to like separate work and in the podcast, like 2 different worlds. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to go by this different name. Nobody will ever know. I mean, eventually, like people at work, started to find out, and like they honestly could care less. So
that's usually what
like,
happens.
Well, yeah, they're like, oh, okay, cool, good for you, man. Like, and so I'm like, oh, I probably could have just, had this whole thing wrapped up and kept it that way. The funny thing too is like, just kind of like inside information. So for me, I have LinkedIn, of course, for like business, personal, and I started connecting to other podcasters, at least one guy, Ryan Smith, I'll call him out in a good way. And I did a few episodes with him. I noticed he was landing all these big names. And I was like, dude, you got to give me the secret sauce. Because he was bringing on, reputable Panthers folks. He's like, oh, LinkedIn. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, yeah, just go on LinkedIn. He was like, I would connect. I'd ask people. He's like, people are much more receptive there versus like Twitter or Facebook, whatever, Instagram, TikTok. He's like, and so I started to do that, and I was like very surprised. I got like Anish Shroff, he does college football and also does the Panthers play-by-play. But sure, I like reached out, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll come on.
Sweet.
It's wild.
Well,
small little like nuggets like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we are getting into that point now, like where we're trying to reach out, and we've got a couple local guys on the. I mean, we're kind of like an all-over podcast. Obviously, we cover mostly NFL, but we do all sports. Chad's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Broncos fan. So we don't really have. Right. We always try to like keep a flow of people, and it's it's tough, trying to get people on, and we've been pretty lucky, just cold, DMing people, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the LinkedIn thing,
that's a good idea.
Great idea.
Good tips,
yeah,
sir.
Another avenue.
Yeah, we'll file that one away.
There you go.
Yeah. So let's get into it, man. As they say in Carolina, let's keep pounding. I love that tag name, man. That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's get into some Panthers talk. Chris, you want to hit him with this first question?
So, we'll start. We're going to talk a little bit about the coaching changes that happened. So Dave Canales joined you guys, and before he joined you guys, he turned Geno Smith into one of the league's leading league leaders in completion percentage for the Seahawks. He also happened to make Baker Mayfield look like a number 1 pick again for the Bucs. He did this both as a QB coach, but now he's a head coach. He's bringing his quick-hitting offense to the Panthers. Do you think he's going to be able to do the same for Bryce Young after he struggled last year? Basically, 179 yards per game, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think folks in Carolina are very hopeful that he can do that, seeing what he did with Baker and, again, like you said, with Geno Smith. I think from my perspective, I'm happy with Canales since he's gotten settled in. To be honest, like when we started the coaching cycle and we're going through like who is going to be the coach here in Carolina, he was at the bottom of the list. I always tell people that like follow and listen. Like back then, I did a preview of every single coaching candidate, and he was in the mix at the very end. And I was like, oh man, he's a coordinator in Tampa, division rival. I was like, maybe we land one of these big names, a Harbaugh, Belichick, or whoever, and you maybe entice him some way to leave where he is and come be a coordinator here, which, like, I don't even know logistically that would have been possible. But that's why I teased him. I was like, oh, he'd be a great coordinator. And then he comes in and he lands as our head coach. But I tell you what, man, he's very optimistic, and I think fans here we're appreciative of that, considering everything from last year. But at the same time, it's a lot of folks are worried that it may not, we might not see the success that we thought we would see like right out of the gate. But I do think he's got the track record. I also like to caution, for me personally and for Panthers fans, I'm like, I think we put a little extra weight on the Geno Smith. Like, not to say, like, he was the quarterback coach, and there's no doubt he helped Geno, but I think we kind of lump him in there as like he was the reason when there were a lot of other factors. And then same thing in Tampa. I was dialed into a podcast, and I wish I could tell you the name, but it was a local reporter and the GM of Tampa Bay, and it was like a 40-minute episode. They talked about last year, the offseason, and going into this season. Really, the only reason I listened was like, I want to hear them talk about, Canales leaving and or the success of Baker Mayfield, because they talked a lot about Baker, and they really just touted Todd Bowles for making the decision to bring in Baker, and like there wasn't a lot of talk about Canales. I'm like, I don't know if they're bitter, but I was like, okay, you're not gonna give him a little bit of credit. So I'm hopeful, man, and I think he's the perfect fit for Bryce Young. And yeah, I mean, you can only go up from here, and I hate to look too far into the future, but we know the NFL moves fast. It's a big year for Bryce Young to prove to us in the Carolinas that he is like the future or a franchise quarterback for the Panthers.
Yeah, and you always want with these rookie quarterbacks to have a head coach who is more, offensive orientated, because otherwise, I mean, we had the issue when we had Vic Fangio here and they're trying to figure things out, and it's just like he didn't even care about the offensive side of the ball. I mean, he didn't even care about the offensive side of the ball. He just was caring about how the defense was doing. So it's nice to have that to bring up a rookie, well, not rookie, but a young quarterback. And it's also nice to see, clearly I don't know if it was Dave Canales or the front office themselves, but in free agency, they definitely wanted to bring in, it looks like, some help along the offensive line, and I think that's going to parlay into Chad's question he has for you.
Yeah, talking about Dave Canales and if he's going to have much of an effect, I think what we saw in Tampa Bay and Seattle, who knows? There's probably, like you said, a lot of different factors there. But I think if Dave Canales maybe did anything, it seems like he kind of just unleashed those quarterbacks in a sense where, we've always known Baker, especially going back to Oklahoma days, to be a gunslinger. But especially there at Tampa Bay, where we were used to Tom Brady kind of marching down the field in more of a methodical way, he kind of let Baker gunsling it and throw those bombs to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin down the middle. So this year, I was reading this article from a different Carolina Panthers reporter, and it was talking about how because of the offensive line and the injuries this year, they're really expecting it to be more of a run-heavy offense because they don't really expect Bryce Young to be able to sit back there for longer than 5 seconds. So maybe he's going to have to drop back and throw it quicker. Do you think, I know it's kind of a touchy question. He was sacked 62 times last year. Do you think, and then Yosh Nijman just found out he has to have reinforcement surgery. Then Badara Traore, if I'm saying that name right, is also getting his knee evaluated after leaving Thursday's game. Do you think they're going to be able to patch together that line to keep Bryce Young upright and be able to throw the ball a little this year?
Yeah, I think we're all holding our breath here. They invested quite a bit on the interior, bringing in Robert Hunt, massive contract for him coming over from Miami. And that was the talk, is like, hey, Bryce Young got sacked a ton last year. We saw him, continually getting beaten up every week and not having the ability to get the ball out. And so you go and you add reinforcements, and then you bring over Damian Lewis from Seattle. So on paper, I think everyone was pretty optimistic. There are some question marks, and the Panthers chose on the interior to not pick up a center either through free agency or the draft. They did bring in an undrafted free agent, but I'm not really thinking that he's going to pan out on the 53-man. So they moved Austin Corbett, who's battled a few injuries over the last 2 seasons. They moved him to center. He's never played center. And so you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket that Austin Corbett's going to pan out in a new position, that Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis on the interior are going to be much better. And I think it's just going to come down to health. And like you said, you talk about Yash, who a lot of folks here are like, oh, he's a great backup swing tackle. And then you look at the depth, like even back behind them, and it starts to scare you because injuries are piling up. They sat, basically the whole starting lineup.
Yeah,
on
they
the
did. They
offense.
sat like 30 people over that preseason.
Yeah, it
game,
was
right?
massive.
Yeah.
So they ended that game with like 5 offensive linemen. So they were like down to the bare minimum.
Oh, man.
It was bad. So they ended up bringing in another 1 or 2 guys this week just to add a little bit more depth. So I think you have the interior is a question, is like, how's that going to look? And, are we going to get the same type of production that we think we got, when they were with Robert Hunt was with Miami, Damian Lewis was with Seattle. Lewis has been battling an injury over really since camp opened up, and there's not been a lot said about it. I don't know what's happening. And then I saw Canales say that he also has some personal stuff. So I just hope everything's good there. The other name is Ike Ekwonu, who is our left tackle. We drafted him, local kid from Charlotte, played at NC State. He had a pretty good first year in the league. Last year was just terrible. Saw a big drop, and he was part of the reason there were so many sacks. And then this like off season, he said, last year was, he kind of just was going through the motions. I think there was just a lot going on last year, but I do think we are going to have to see a different style. I mean, to your point, Dave Canales has talked about since he's got here, like a run-heavy offense. So I think that's going to be part of the scheme, and then getting the ball out fast, like exactly like you said. All this talk about 2.7 seconds or less, that the ball has to be coming out of his hands. And to do that, you got to have some receivers that can get open. So I think hopefully with the addition of Johnson, maybe Mingo's elevated a little bit. We know Adam Thielen, and then Xavier, that Bryce can, have some receivers that can get open pretty quickly, because we're going to need it. Don't want to see, a repeat of last year.
Yeah, and you avoided a big scare with Xavier with that potential injury, but it seems like he's going to be okay, right?
Yep, fingers crossed. I hope so, man. Our family, like my wife's family, is a big fan of the Gamecocks, so we kind of follow his career.
Oh, cool.
I was excited. Yeah, we were excited to have him like coming into Carolina. Like that's the receiver we wanted. But my father-in-law texted me as soon as the injury news popped. He was like, "It's only the beginning." ... And I was like, "Oh God,
Here we go.
like don't start this."
Well, I do want to spin it to the defensive side of the ball, because you guys got one hell of a defensive coordinator in Ijaya Evero, and you guys also snagged Josie Jewell from the Broncos, who he is a little bit older, but I mean he has had basically 100 tackles in each of his past 2 seasons. He did have the pec injury in 2021, but I was bummed when the Broncos couldn't sign him. We still have Alex Singleton, which is nice, but to lose kind of the field general there on the defensive side of the ball is a bummer. How are you guys feeling about Ijaya and his defense heading into the season?
It feels like one of the positives, or one of the more stable things that we know about this team. I mean, we did lose, so we lost Frankie Louvu, Brian Burns, Vitor Matos, who's not probably as big a name on the national market, but we lost some key players, got rid of Von Bell, and so coming in, we're like, okay, what are we going to do? And so Ijera goes out and starts to pick over really players that he's coached before, and so he's bringing in players from the Rams, bringing in players from Denver. So I think for us, man, I am excited about Josie. I heard him on, was it Good Morning Football today, talking a little bit, which was just nice to kind of hear him and learn a little bit more about him. First of all, he was very cool at training camp this year, which we got to go down, signing all the autographs for the kids, spending time doing that, which, always good to see. I think on the field, though, I don't know for us if he's going to be a direct replacement for Louvu, but I think him, and as long as Shaq Thompson can stay healthy, that, the core that Ijero is putting together, I mean, I can tell you straight up, I don't think this is a playoff team, but I think at least they will be part of the reason that hopefully this team can be a little bit more competitive this year.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the practical way of going about it. I mean, it's very pragmatic to assume that it's going to be a 2 to 3 process, maybe a 2 to 3 year kind of building where the Panthers may not have the roster this year just because of the way the cards lay. But I think, with the coaching in place, hopefully David Tepper, who's a widely criticized owner, can take a step back, let the GM and the coach do their business, and then build a roster. I think you guys could be able to, contest the NFC South maybe next year, and then especially 2 years from then, building on some draft picks.
Yep. It's so funny to, hear how David Tepper has made his rounds outside of the Carolinas, because I could probably name like 3 or 4 other owners that, that I would just like know, but then I probably couldn't name the rest of the league. But clearly Tepper has like made his mark with all the crap that he's done. It's not good.
Remind me, was he the one that got caught throwing the drink on a fan last year?
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah. He's a wild dude, man.
Wild card.
Yeah, you're going to have those, man.
Man, he I don't know if this one circulated to the like major markets, but we have a restaurant in Charlotte. I mean, I live in Wilmington, but in Charlotte, there's this restaurant, Gilworth, that has like a sign out front, and they'll put out whatever. They put something up like keep Tepper out of the draft room. He literally goes into the restaurant. I guess I don't know if he's talking to like the host that's at the front, but takes the dude's hat off. And like, that's just how arrogant.
Oh,
and like, he does
as soon as you said the restaurant, I was like, I think I have seen this story, man.
Yeah,
it's these billionaires. You're not gonna get too many of them that are friendly. It's just when you get to that level, they just have a sense of superiority that they just can't shake. So.
Howard Hughes. That's the reason people call him Howard Hughes.
Yep. But hopefully he can dial it back and just let the team run on, because dude, how long have you been a Panthers fan? I would assume for quite a while, right?
Yeah, so I'm from Carolina. I grew up like so my dad was a Green Bay fan actually. So I grew up Green Bay for probably 12, 13, 14 years, and then naturally it was harder to find Green Bay on market down here, and Carolina was always on. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just go ahead and pick up the local team. And so, yeah, I've kind of been along for the ride ever since.
So, like, what years are we talking about? You around, like, the Jake Delhomme Super Bowl era? Like, yeah? Yeah,
that was so, like, I wasn't diehard back then, but it was definitely, I was like.
That helped ignite it.
Yeah, nice.
Was it, yeah, like elementary, middle, yeah, and then, of course, all the Cam Newton years. That was a fun ride.
Yep, yeah. I didn't even think about that. This Broncos fan here, and then Panthers Super Bowl. But very noble of you, Chris. Very noble of you.
There you go.
Hey, we I think we hold 5 of the worst Super Bowl losses. We're up there on the list, so
it evens out.
There you go.
Yeah. But I did have one other question to ask you before we let you go. I was listening to your podcast, and you were talking about the new kick. And the rules and stuff, but you mentioned that you played college ball a little bit. Where did you go to school at?
Oh, super small, Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. So very small, Division III. Yeah, I unfortunately, senior year in high school, tore my ACL, second game in. Then a lot of folks just said, see ya. And I ended up having an offer at a D2 or preferred walk-on, and I signed the letter of intent. I've got a whole episode about this. So I signed a letter of intent, then made a decision not to go because of a girl. And
that'll happen.
Oh man, my parents lost it. And so anyways, I landed at a small D3 school, which I mean it was still a lot. Yeah.
College football is no joke.
I appreciated a couple episodes ago you telling that story about how you got laid out on a kickoff return.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly the first time that was like my welcome to football moment. I was on kickoff return.
This is so fun.
Yeah, turned back and got laid out, man. It's like that's a very vulnerable play.
It is, and I remember I don't even think I had practiced it at that point. Like I think it was like late. Third or fourth quarter, I know I hadn't practiced. And they're like, all right, we just need you to go back there and just block somebody.
Get in there and run.
And I'm like, okay, sure. And they throw me back, and like I remember it was an away game. It was at Hampton Sydney, and I was on theirs, like closer to their section with the fans. Oh my God, they just went, oh!
You hear them all as you're laying there trying to.
I was like, oh God, all right, let me out of here.
That's awesome, man. Well, we don't want to keep you too much longer. We know you've got a life and you just put your kid down. You probably want to enjoy your evening. But we wanted to thank you for hopping on and giving us some of your time this evening. Before you go, if you want just to kind of give everybody where they can find you. We kind of already gave them, your podcast and everything, but say it again by all means. And then we'll let you get on out of here, man.
Awesome, man. It's 2 Growls, 1 Roar. So you can find me on all socials, all podcasts, and YouTube. And I'll say for y'all, man, we'll have to bring you back to talk some Broncos and Chiefs because we got both of y'all on the schedule.
Yeah, we're on the schedule this year. We'd love to do it, man.
That's very true, man. Yeah, we'd be
awesome.
Very interested in having doing it again and maybe hopping on your podcast or whatever you need. And yeah, later on during the season, we'll be fascinated to see what the Panthers do. So we'll definitely have to pick your brain again.
Awesome, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you. Have a great night, and we'll be
Thanks,
in touch.
y'all.
Take care.
Bye.
See y'all. All right, bye-bye.
Carolina
Nice.
Panthers,
Carolina
man.
Panthers in the book.
See, what I was like kind of getting at was just like, dude, back in the day when I first like fell in love with like Madden, and when I was like freshman or so, that's when the Panthers were so good. Sean Foster, Steven Davis, Jacob Delhomme, Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like the beginnings of like realizing, oh, I don't have to only like the Chiefs. Like that's my heart.
Yeah.
But I appreciate and respect this other team. I loved playing with the Panthers back in the day, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like they had this run game that was just dominant. I was just running over everybody. So when they made the Super Bowl with the Patriots, I was like gung ho on the Panthers.
Go
dude.
Panthers, Jake Delhomme.
And then
Yeah.
they lost. Yeah. Damn, Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Is your shirt inside out? I just didn't notice that.
Oh, dude, my shirt is inside
Why'd you do that?
You
Trying
know
to
why,
cover up
dude?
something?
No, you know why? Because I grabbed it out of the dryer this morning, and it's all dark. I just put it on.
That's funny,
That's cool.
man.
So yeah, this is the Inside Out episode.
Inside Out 2. It's in theaters now.
Thanks, Chad, for letting me know that an hour into the podcast.
You're welcome, man.
Well, it's time for the music
That's how
break.
you know I'm a friend.
Yeah, that's a true friend. Yeah, wait till it's too late to do anything about it. So let's get into the music break. We have Flavor still all month long, and that's spelled the fancy way, the English way, FLAVOUR. The name of this song is Satin Steam, and we will be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard Satin Steam by FLAVOUR. If you like what you heard, they will be here the rest of this month, but you can also find their music where they're playing. They're going to be on tour, which they are. They're coming here September 3rd, which is a Tuesday. It's a school night, but we're headlining, so make sure to come on out so you can have a real rough Wednesday. But if you want to find that stuff out, go to Taste the Flavor. Again, that is FLAVOUR.bandcamp.com. You can get anything you want to know about them right there. You can even get, what are you watching over there? Oh, it's me.
I was going to say.
It's me watching stuff.
Jesus, I was like,
what are you
the hell,
doing
dude?
over there? We're on a podcast here. Your phone's it's mine.
It's yours.
I'm a failure. But anyways, go check them out. Like I said, they will be here in September, so we'll keep talking about that. We'll keep sharing it. That show's coming up quick, hot and heavy. Let's get into the NBA.
Let's do it.
Which technically isn't really the NBA. It's the Olympics, but we're going to separate it anyways.
It's still hard in the paint.
Going hard in the paint. Yeah. Pick and roll. Sandy.
T, come on. I'm burning.
Yes, and we're burning, much like the Olympic torch, which I think it always keeps burning, doesn't it?
No, they actually extinguished it. It was like a ceremony thing at the closing ceremons. They just
didn't realize they extinguished it. They really
just
blew it out?
Yeah, yep.
Huh. Well, yeah, so USA, they win gold.
Against, you couldn't write this, man.
Against
the
France.
Women's and men's went up against France in the finals.
And both
the
win.
women's game was incredible.
Yeah, it was like down to the wire, back and forth.
The chick made the lady from France made
I forget what
a
her name
two-pointer. I don't know what her name was, but
Bingo was her name.
but her foot was on the line, and if it had counted, it just would have tied it up and went into overtime. But I mean, it was nuts because I mean, USA had like a 4 or 5 point lead, and they kept making shots, but then France kept making shots too. But I mean, it's just unreal. Like, so that makes 8 Olympics in a row that the United States women has won gold. That's over the last 32 years.
Yeah,
no other countries won gold.
It was 92, I think. It was the last time they lost. I think they've been winning since like the early
32 years ago. Yeah.
92 Olympics.
Yep.
So yeah, they haven't lost. They are extremely good. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, I don't think the men's would have even gotten. They might not have gotten silver. It was tough for them, but Steph Curry just came out, and the last 2 games
he went unconscious, man.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Yeah.
I mean,
the last 2 minutes of the France game, he hit like 4 3-pointers.
4 3 in the last 3 minutes. Yep. Yeah. And then one of them, there was just this amazing circus shot. I was watching it in the car. We were headed to Michael's to get Halloween stuff, and so I'm like, I can't miss this. I'm gonna watch it on my phone while I'm sitting there pushing a damn cart.
Yeah, you got it. It's the manly thing to do.
Yeah, I just got to. Man, I don't know how many times we've like gone out on a Saturday and I'm watching college football on my phone.
As you push in the cart.
Dude, like carts were made. They think like that little section in the beginning, the front of the cart is for babies. No, it's
put
for
your phone in there.
Men to put your phone to watch college football on Saturdays
while you're doing the duties.
Yep. Dude, I just can't believe it. I mean, the way he makes those shots, I don't know how they go in. There was that one where he's guarded by 2 guys. LeBron James is open. Kevin Durant's open.
And he's just like, I got it.
He just throws it up, fades away, 2 guys in his face, and it goes in. And then after that, that's when he does the sleeping.
Yeah. Well, that picture of Wemby, like completely outstretched,
iconic, man,
and he just shoots a rainbow arc over him, and it's just like, that is nuts.
I texted you during the first half of that game, man. I really think that's like some of the best basketball I've ever seen. Both teams were locked in. You didn't see like any turnovers. You didn't see very many missed shots. I love watching top level. I mean, it's just watching greatness.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we wanted Serbia to win. That happened after our last recorded episode last week. That to me is a game, just to kind of go a little bit more back in time. I watched that game while I was at work. Don't tell anybody, but
I listened.
Yeah.
Still counts.
Yeah. That's a game I don't think I'll ever forget until I get like dementia or something like that. But like that was just unreal. It was heartbreaking because of the lead that they did have. But watching them storm back, I mean, it's three of the greatest players in the game right now:
Yeah.
KD, Steph Curry, and LeBron. And
2 of those will probably go down as top 5, top 10 for sure.
I think
5.
Steph really should. I mean, he's the greatest shooter of all time. It's hands down.
He might need to be the new NBA logo.
I think it'd be cool.
Just
Some kind of like shooting. I mean, dude, when he does that that pump fake and he just does like a slight little dribble and shifts to the left. I mean, dude, it's just
a little
cold.
stab dribble. Just
it's cold,
like,
man.
oh,
you know
you're
he's gonna
done,
make it
dude.
because he just got such like a confidence to him where you're like, this is going in. But yeah, unfortunately, they stormed back. They beat Serbia. And KD even said, he was like, "That's a game it's probably one of the best games I've ever been a part of."
And let's not forget that Jokic and Bogdanovic and some other itches, almost took down like
12 of the best
NBA players.
It's insane. The fact that Serbia put up that, hats off to them, and the way they celebrated like they got
that
the gold,
bronze,
man.
dude, the night parade. Everybody's just partying.
Oh man, 100,000 people out there. Oh
and
man.
then after they won, did you see him on the bus?
Yeah.
And then on the podium, they were all hammered.
Oh man, it was
They
great.
were just
dude, and
toasted.
Jokic has got a little bit of a beer belly right now, man.
He's never been in shape.
No, but you don't really see him with his shirt off very often.
No,
This is
it's
the
only
first
in
time
Serbia
I've seen it.
you see it.
Exactly. It's the only time.
Serbia,
man.
the shirt's off.
I
You
love
pop a
to
top
see
in
him just
Serbia.
living up his best life. I mean, dude, I just can't think. I'm really glad I didn't forget this. I tried to post this, but I just got busy. But after they did beat Germany to get the bronze medal, before he even clapped or celebrated or anything like that,
very classy.
goes over and shakes the hand of every Germany player and every assistant coach and the head coach before he celebrates.
Yeah, the rest of the team's like all like, and they're like, and Jokic is just going to every guy.
Every
just
single
like,
one.
"Good job, good
He is
job,
the
good
definition of sportsmanship. If
Yeah.
I was a pee-wee coach, if I was a middle school coach,
Show
high
that.
school coach,
Over
you
and
show
over.
him that because Jokic, he defines sportsmanship. And
He does.
that's the reason why. And as a family man, he doesn't care about going out and partying or anything like that.
He does party, though.
He does. When it involves horse racing.
Stay on parade. And
That's
that's
what it
technically a parade for winning bronze, and he's going to stay on parade.
Dude, every time we get talking about Jokic, we could have a whole episode on Jokic,
We really
man.
could.
He's my favorite player, dude. He's so cool.
He's pretty awesome.
He's so chill. And he's funny as hell.
He is. More often than not, he's not trying to be. Just natural.
But, yeah, so the USA win gold. Pretty amazing. That was a great game. The France put up a little bit of a fight, and then towards the middle of the third quarter, pretty much the end of the third quarter, they pulled away, and it was like a 10 to 12 point lead the rest of the game. But yeah, they actually did pull up between like 6 points, and then Curry just started cooking. Chef Curry,
dude. He cooked up a whole heaping pile of 3-pointers.
Yeah,
to the tune of 36 points.
It was nuts. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. But,
well,
yeah.
Let's parlay this into some more Olympic stuff because we got some more Olympics to talk about. And plus, I want to play this.
Hit it, Chris.
Well, the U.S. reigns supreme.
We're number one.
We're number one, America. Fuck yeah. We got more medals than you did.
They even tried to steal one from us.
They did.
They did steal
They
one
did
from
steal
us.
it,
Actually, yeah.
unfortunately.
Bullshit. We even tried to appeal it, and they just said no.
Arbitration said, nah, it's
Bullshit.
gone. So USA, 40 gold medals. They did tie China with the gold medals.
Doesn't matter,
unfortunately.
though,
But
because they didn't get as many.
44 silver, 42 bronze for a grand total of 126 in the medal count. China.
Nice. Good one.
China. They are in second with a grand total of 91. And then we get over to Great Britain, which I don't know why I said it like I'm Scott. Great Britain. But they had 65 medals. France, the home country, is in fourth with 64. So,
Did you see where the United States women across all of the Olympians, they, for us,
accounted for the majority of the medals.
65% of the medals, man. It's pretty cool.
I believe it,
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, unfortunately, like we said, Jordan Childs did lose her bronze medal. Well, that was kind of a bummer. She was on the podium we were talking about with, what's her name from, she was the DDOE last week. I think that was that podium. I think that was the bronze that she had to give up.
Oh, Simone Biles and
Jordan Childs.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
I
so that was a bummer. Women's soccer, they won gold. Sha'Carri Richardson, she wins gold, and we're going to talk a little bit more about women's track and the DDOE. But we got to talk about it, the Aussie breakdancer.
This has been the most viral thing of the Olympics, I think. All of the layovers and the memes where they've put this Aussie breakdancer over. One of my favorite ones I shared recently was a golden retriever could be a breakdancer because it just shows them like rolling on the ground.
Yeah, she tried hard. She did, and there were a few times I'm like, that looks like a move. But then a lot of times I was like, she's just like flopping around like a fish out of water.
It's insane. And then not long after that, the Olympics was like, let's pull this. This is dumb.
Yeah. So I don't know if breakdancing is going to be in
but
there
it
anymore.
is.
But we got
hilarious.
flag football coming in 2028. So boom, replace it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And it's going to be in LA. Should be a good time.
Closing ceremonies. Did you watch them?
I didn't watch them, but I saw some videos and stuff.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
I saw the headline of Tom Cruise. What did he do?
He rappelled from the top of the stadium all the way down, and then I don't know what else he did, but apparently what he did announced like the 28 Olympics in LA, and then he like rode a motorcycle out of the arena, and then there was like a pre-film thing of him like riding the motorcycle around the Eiffel Tower and stuff.
Oh wow.
He does all his own stunts.
Scientology.
Yeah, without Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard, he couldn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Dianetics.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I did see as part of those closing ceremonies, though, that was like a preview for LA Olympics in 2028, which was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre performing. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There'll
and
probably
Snoop
be a lot
Dogg,
of
dude,
that.
that was like one of the best parts of the Olympics.
Dude, they were paying him $500,000 a day.
A day, yeah.
That's nuts.
It's awesome. I would do it
That's wild.
too. They had him dressed up. One of my favorites was the equestrian.
Oh, yeah, when
that
he was out there
hilarious.
with the little helmet.
Yeah, he did a thing with Martha Stewart. That was cool.
She probably made $1 million.
She probably made a lot of money,
She invested it.
Yeah.
Doing naughty things. But what else did I want to say? There's one other thing I want to talk about. I thought it had to do with Snoop Dogg. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, just to wrap it up.
Put a bow on it.
I felt really. I don't know if I would go too far. Did you see your nephew's post about the Olympics?
Alex?
Yeah.
No,
he was
I
like,
didn't.
this makes me. He was just so proud. Not talking to you, Alex. I just think it was great,
He's
man.
pride, dude. He
was like, I'm proud to be an American.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
It's like, I don't know what you did. I'm not sure how you contributed, but
I don't ever like.
we live here.
I mean,
that's
more
true.
often than not, like, yeah, I'm rooting for America, but I've never been one of those people that are like, the fucking Olympics, America.
That's what I was gonna get at, man. Is like I wasn't hyped about it. I actually was. I was pretty pessimistic beforehand because of the corruption behind the Olympics. They don't get paid and all this kind of stuff.
That other jib jabbery.
But just to see the athleticism, see these people that have worked so hard. Katie Ledecky, the pommel horse guy. There's so many good stories.
Noah Lyles. Although a lot of people talk shit about him.
He kind of. I'm not a big fan of his.
He almost died for that bronze medal.
Yeah, fake to
COVID.
sickness.
Yeah, COVID, dude.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, dude, there was just a lot of stories that really kind of just made you not so much. I don't know, proud to be American. You feel that way. That's great. But I was just a fan of these guys that really trained so hard to get this. I mean, Quincy Wilson. We were talking about that. 16-year-old medal. Yeah.
Medal.
Insane.
Yeah, it was fun. It's they're lucky it happened in the middle of nothing going on in the sports world, because otherwise I think not too many people would have talked about it. Me and Meryl did watch, and I don't know if you guys watched this on Peacock, the damn it, I can't think of his name. Keenan.
Oh, Keenan and Kevin Hart's
Yes. Did you watch that?
No.
We did. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool.
It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
It was like
Yeah.
they were like, it was very there was cursing.
Oh, that's cool.
It wasn't like a Peacock thing, so to speak. Like they were
Nice.
there was some funny shit going on.
Well,
I
dude,
enjoyed that.
I've been
It
a
was
fan
good
of
way to
Keenan
catch-
Thompson since I was a
Yeah,
kid,
and
so
then,
that's cool.
Kevin Hart, he's always good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was good to watch. I do think they need to make it a little bit easier to watch sometimes. It's like I don't know.
I mean, it's in Paris. There's time zones. There's really not much they can do about that.
They
But-
need to change the time, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I don't
They need to change time.
cater it to
in and
United
of
States.
itself.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, think about this.
Look at what UFC does. They're like, you know what? You're going to be fighting at 5 o'clock in the morning.
no kidding.
Because it's America.
Well, there's not any really reason to complain because next Olympic, it's going to be in LA.
That's true.
So
and
we're
the
set.
Winter Olympics are generally here, I feel like. more often
They
than
actually did. I think they found out Salt Lake. I think it's 2032. It will be coming back to Salt Lake. So
Good,
that's cool.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Get the Mormons some Olympics,
Yeah. Fill up all the hotels.
The Mo's.
Real quick.
Yes, you want to talk about UFC 305?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's just preview that. There's really not much to talk about.
There we go.
Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. Israel is the contender again. Dricus is the champion.
Yeah.
This is the battle of two Africans. But there's drama because Dricus is what
He's a little bit lighter
considers
colored.
a true African. He comes from South Africa.
Yeah.
He lives there. He's from there, obviously. Israel moved from Nigeria, I think, when he was 7 to somewhere else, and then he moved to New Zealand later. So he considers himself a Kiwi. But anytime we've seen Israel bounce back and contest the championship, he's had a huge win.
It's almost
Here's
like
the
he
thing,
likes
though.
fighting for the belt more than he does retaining it.
Well, and he talked about that in Countdown. Dude, did you see Countdown, dude? His trainer tases him.
That's cool.
That is nuts, man. That's like some serious, like, medieval training.
I like it.
Dude, they were like, if they get tired or something like that, he tases their feet.
Yeah.
That's
Imagine if you
psycho,
could
man.
tase Bobby at work. It
Might work. Good point. Shout out to you, Bobby Baca. That's what we need to do is tase you, man. Get them putaways done, dude.
He's like, damn, there's a lot of putaways today. Yeah, put them away, dude.
Tase. Yeah. But it should be a good one. I'm not really going to mention any other fights on it because there's not a lot standing out. Dan Hooker's on it.
I was going to say the Dan Hooker fight looks kind of good.
Kai Kara France is on there. Tai Tuivasa. We might see
That
a
one might be
Shuey.
good. He's gotta get Shuey
He's
in
always
there.
got a good fight. But I'm taking Dricus in this, man. Dricus is just his coach. I think is levels beyond
beyond or above
Israel's team. He's bigger. He's thicker. He's a guy that his cardio doesn't go down, and he, as we saw from the Sean Strickland fight, he constantly moves forward. And as we saw when Sean Strickland fought Izzy doesn't handle that very well.
No, he did not like the pressure.
So put your money on Dricus. I don't even have the odds here, but it's all good. We don't need to get into it, but we will be recapping it next week. And like Chris said, you got to cater to America.
That's
It is
right.
in Australia, but it will still be starting at regular time.
Well, you'd be surprised, Chad, on UFC's website. Izzy is favored, -130 to Dricus' +110.
It's pretty much a coin flip then, huh?
Kind of.
Damn.
A little bit of a favorite.
Well,
there,
he's.
but
I mean,
yeah.
he's still the favorite. Wow.
So,
I'll be
but
there.
yeah, well, I got to get out of here.
You do got
because I got to
practice?
go to practice. I don't know what else we can cover really. We're gonna come
I'm
back
going to spend
to
2
the MLB.
minutes on this rec center if you got one.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do Gabby Thomas.
Okay, hold on. I have a rec center thing somewhere.
What? When did you get a rec center?
Well, we have a thing for it, but it might not actually be on here now, and I'm looking at it. Son of a bitch. It's not. Anyways, I did
Okay,
want to come
no
up with a song that's like, let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies.
Okay, we're workshopping that.
Let's all go to the rec
The
center.
rec center.
Let's
Well,
all
see,
go
for
to
the rec center,
rec
I was
center.
thinking anytime when I was a kid, when I hear rec center, the gym floor would always be super squeaky.
So you just want to
but-
hear like squeaky shoes.
But still, it was funnier in my head.
We'll workshop it. Yeah,
Exactly.
We're trying to. Yeah, I got some other things I want to
Hey,
do. Maybe
this
some
is-
overlays on the general screens, make it look cooler. So
This
things
is all
are in the works.
grassroots, man. It's
You
all
know,
grassroots.
We're making things happen. So let's get
Anyway, we are
into
at the
it.
rec center. Real quick, I just have to mention this because we've had on the producer, Mr. Justin Graver.
Oh, I see now.
The first episode came out just a couple yesterday. Man, I keep burping from these high noons. Sorry.
Knock it off, dude.
We've talked about around the NFL how those guys split up, and now Mark Sessler and Dan Hanzus has started their own podcast called Heed the Call, the greatest title ever, the old tagline from Rest in Peace, Chris Wessling.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah, it was like his tagline that he would use at the end of the podcast. It's an awesome that they titled it that.
Yeah.
I've listened to the first episode. It's great. It's under the platform Underdog Fantasy, which is the gambling website basically. So they're the ones putting it on. So
yeah, it's on their YouTube.
They have more freedom to cuss. They have more freedom to joke around. So they're not under the Big Brother NFL network.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great. I'm never one that's like, oh, don't go listen to other podcasts. There's only us. There's 24 hours in a day. You got plenty of time to listen to everything. We're all out here to lift everybody up.
Podcasts.
And I don't think they need any help because they were already like number one in podcasts before they had already put out an episode. That's how much people were starving for more from them. And yeah, I listened to the first episode and it was great. Justin Graver, you did a hell of a job.
Yeah, shout out to him. He was on this podcast.
Yep.
He's our shoe-in to getting on Heed the Call.
That's what we're hoping.
Getting Mark Zessler and Dan Hanzus on here. So, we're making moves. We just learned that we apparently need LinkedIn. So we're learning as we go, people, and you're learning along with us. So you can go start your own podcast and be like every other couple of white guys in the world.
Dude, everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, I look at like the NFL players and stuff like that. Everybody's got a podcast.
Seriously,
nowadays.
no, it's nuts.
But not as good as ours.
No, that's right. Not as good as ours. I
Chris,
do
you got
have
a
a
rec
rec
center.
center. It's a little off the cuff. It's not like anything new, but I have been listening to a lot of Riff Raff as of late. Do you know the rapper Riff Raff, Chad?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You might know him. He got famous on MTV show way back in the day, which wasn't it that like How to Be a Player or something like that?
I have no idea.
I can't remember either, but I've been listening to a shitload of his songs recently. I started last week.
Dude, I've
been going down a big Riff Raff.
You are hilarious.
Just rabbit hole here, and it's good, dude. You want to know why I like him? He loves alliteration. He calls himself the Peach Panther. There's a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's our thing too, man.
Well,
Fringe fanatics.
Alliteration's our thing, so I love it. He doesn't really have. I don't think he's got a couple new singles out, and they're more. It's not like rap. It's kind of like I told you about that band Gunship, right? Oh, you should check them out.
Okay.
It's like the best way to describe it is like almost like lo-fi electronica that you would listen to while driving in the desert in a post-apocalyptic world.
That definitely sounds right up my alley, man.
It's super cool. Check them out. But it's kind of more like this, like it's not like super crazy rap beats. It's almost kind of stuff similar to that.
Okay.
And it's goofy.
I can't
music.
believe it. When's the last time Riff Raff has ever come out with anything? Has it been a minute?
No, I don't. Like I said, I think he. Let me double check for you here. Let me go because he's on my. I've been listening to it quite a bit.
I would have never expected this. That's awesome.
Oh, X is playing stuff. Let me tell you here when the last thing he had come out was. This one is his latest 2024, dude. So there's new stuff. You can go listen to Neon Hong Kong or Spirit of Thunder or Turquoise Tornado.
Dude, he's all about alliteration.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
That's
some
cool.
of it's so stupid. Like, it cracks me up. Like, he'll Vanilla Gorilla, Cranberry Vampire isn't really alliteration, but I like it. Tangerine Tiger, Pink Python, Alcoholic Alligator.
He's got to have alliteration, man. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, if you need
That's great,
something
dude.
funny to listen to that just, means nothing and hear a guy talk about goofy shit, listen to some Riff Raff, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
He's probably going to be on the show soon, so
hit him up.
I'm going to get on LinkedIn.
That's how we get in touch with these people.
Riff Raff. Be like, hey, yo,
Yeah.
you want to come join these Peach Panthers on this podcast? You know
Nice.
what I mean?
I'll check out some Riff Raff, man.
His real name, Horst Christian Simcoe.
Whoa, what in the hell? Sounds
His
like he
first
changed it.
name is Horst.
Man, I've never
Horst.
heard of a name. That's
Huh.
strange. No wonder he calls himself Riff Raff.
Yeah, so that makes sense. From G's to Gents.
Is that Chris Rosa? Is that how you say that? Is that Riza?
It's Rosa.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so tell him about that.
So I'll give you a little bit of a preview before we do the DDOE. Next week, we're going to be having on a Giants insider,
Yes.
Chris Rosa.
The New York Giants.
Yeah, find out what Daniel Jones is doing up there. Apparently, he's not throwing any passes in 7-7. So hopefully
Why would you? You can't throw interceptions then.
Good call, man.
The best way to not throw interceptions? Don't throw the ball.
Can't miss if you don't shoot.
So yeah, be looking out for that. But it's that time. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Daly, is gonna hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man.
Hard.
So far, man. Far. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
That's right, and each and every week we hit it hard for the DDOE, the Daily Dose of Excellence. And the last couple of weeks it's been a little bit Olympic heavy, Olympic-centric, if you will, but there's good reason, and we're going to continue it this week as this is the last time we have to hear about the Olympics until the Winter Olympics. So.
That is true. Miss Gabby Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the big brains on Gabby.
Whoa. What brains are we talking about, Chad?
The brains.
The
She's got a
brains?
PhD.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, as an undergraduate studying neurobiology at Harvard University, Thomas changed the course of her life's calling after taking a seminar that exposed her to health disparities in America. That led her to pursue a master's in public health from the University of Texas, earning her degree in 2023 with a focus on epidemiology and healthcare management. She has become a passionate and expert voice for access to quality healthcare for undeserved populations and volunteers at a clinic in her adopted home of Austin, Texas, that provides healthcare services for people without access to care. Her social media platforms raise awareness and inform her followers about important healthcare issues, including vaccine hesitancy, mental health, and environmental justice. She's also really fast.
Yes.
Yes. She ran at the Paris Games and...
Let me tell you what she did.
Thank you, Chris.
She just so happened to win her first ever Olympic gold medal at the 2024 Paris Games. She says, I wrote down over and over every morning that I was in Paris that I will be the Olympic champion in my notes app. And I envisioned the race all day, every day, imagining myself winning and crossing the line in front, she said in an interview with CBS Mornings. So yeah, the 27-year-old is the Olympic champion in 200-meter sprint, but she also followed that up with another gold in the 4x100 meter relay.
And that, I think, was with Sha'Carri Richardson, right?
I believe so. Oh, wait. No.
No, not her.
No, they did the other one.
Oh, the other relay. Okay.
They were the other relay. She was
Gotcha.
the 4x400. That was Shamir Little, Sydney McLaughlin, Lavrone, Gabrielle Thomas, and Alexis Holmes.
Wow.
So, yeah, comes away with 2 Olympic gold medals and just... add that to her long list of accomplishments.
PhD.
Basically being a doctor.
Unbelievable. That's just crazy. Could you imagine, like, you're in the hospital and she's, like, doing her epidemiology thing? I don't know the smart terms for that.
Me either.
And then she's like, oh, damn, I need to go get the test results.
She's like,
and she sprints to the other side of the hospital.
Man.
And comes right back. I got it. We need to do this. Dude, she's like a super doctor.
Pretty much.
Super doctor.
Super doctor.
Yep.
And a super amazing person.
And deserves a DDOE.
Indeed.
Daily Dose of Excellence.
So it goes out to you, Gabrielle Thomas, and we appreciate all that you have done for the Americas and the American epidemiology stuff.
Yeah.
That
and congrats to you.
Have issues with, apparently.
All of you Olympians that represented America so well, you make me feel proud. Thank you. And thank you to CD for hopping on our podcast. That was great.
Yes.
We love learning about the Panthers.
Indeed. We love the Panthers and learning about them.
Yeah. We're not going to go that far. We still Chiefs all the way, man.
And donkeys. But make sure to tune in next week. We appreciate you tuning in this week. Like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. We love you guys.
Love you.
We
See you
will
next week.
See you next week. Toodles!